One of the best trial lawyers I know told me, you can make 100 mistakes on a case, you can mess it up one way or another way, but one thing that a judge will always respect is a really good cross-examination. Hello everybody, my name is Joe Pometto, Joe the lawyer. I'm a practicing criminal defense, personal injury, and family law attorney in Pittsburgh, PA. Today, I am going to break down a portion of the cross-examination of Amber Heard. This was performed by one of my newest favorite attorneys, Vasquez. You can see I like her so much, I even put a suit and tie on, everyone. You know, I gotta look good for my girl. So I thought that she did a tremendous job here. I'm gonna point out, it's always easy to sit in the chair and play quarterback, quarterback from the couch, okay? But I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna point out the good things that she did, some of the bad things that I thought she did. Overall, I thought her testimony, her cross-examination was dynamite. So if stick around for the rest of this video. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Free way to support this show. I could really use the support. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a share. Now, before we dig into this video and I start to break it down, raise your cup, your glass in the air. It's back by popular demand. The Same Time Sip. Sip with me. It tastes better when we sip together. I thought I was getting regular size Diet Coke cans, and here I got a mini, but I ordered them off of curbside delivery. But I guess I still got to drink them. Cheers. All right, let's start this cross-examination. I'm going to be pausing at certain moments where I want to make a point.
My question is more nuanced. You sat in this courtroom while Officer Sines testified that she saw you the night of May 21, 2016, face-to-face, and didn't see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
I believe she was testifying about these photographs, and she said that I was not injured in them.
Okay, few things I want to point out right there from that short exchange. Amber Heard is looking at the jury. That's something that's trained and taught. It's not natural. Now, they've already been through a trial in the UK. Plus, she has really good, experienced attorneys. So what people are taught when they're sitting on the witness stand is to take the question in from the questioner and then look at the jury and deliver. And you'll see Amber Heard does that throughout this questioning. The other thing that you saw there is that she didn't directly answer the question. The question that Vasquez, Johnny Depp's attorney, who's cross-examining Amber Heard, asked her was a yes or no question. And Amber answered with a statement. You will see that throughout this entire cross-examination. Rarely does Amber give the yes or no.
Is it your testimony under oath now that Officer Sines testified that she saw injuries on you when she saw you in person on May 21?
Sorry, let me clarify. I was testifying that I know that that's what Officer Sines said, that she didn't consider my red puffy face injured. That's what she said.
The red puffy face, that was your counsel's question, correct?
That was her testimony in the UK.
That's incorrect, and you know that, Ms. Heard.
I disagree.
It's just inconvenient for you that Officer Sines didn't see injuries on you on May 21, 2016.
It doesn't matter what's convenient for me.
Right.
Okay, so when a witness doesn't answer yes or no, it's going to give the attorney more leeway to ask additional questions about that particular fact, okay? Usually it's going to work out in favor of the cross-examining an attorney, because the best thing to do, in my opinion, is you answer the questions yes or no, and then maybe you add a statement, or you just answer them yes or no, and you let the lawyer run through their cross, and then your attorney will come back up on what's redirect. And that's when it's more powerful, because this lawyer is trying to make a point. Now, by Amber saying yes or no, not saying yes or no, it gave her the opportunity to confront her directly about her red puffy face and to make a statement. Isn't it convenient for you that they didn't see red marks on your face. What's going on there is now, because Amber was avoiding, now Camille gets to testify herself. We call that the lawyer testifying. So the lawyer is asking a question, and the point is for the jury to hear that statement. Now, if the person is answering yes or no, it can close down those opportunities for the lawyer to jump around and hit on all these points. Now, one of the rules of cross-examination is that the answer from the witness doesn't always matter. The point is you want the jury to hear the question. Now, that's not completely true because, again, if the witness is avoiding, it can allow the lawyer more opportunities to ask more questions and to testify to even more damaging facts to the witness. And by her avoiding almost, you'll see throughout this entire 8 minutes, I believe she answers yes or no once. She refuses to do it. I don't know if she's been coached to do that. I doubt it. I don't think that's good coaching, but she is refusing to answer. So she is being difficult on every single question here. And Amber probably thinks it's helping her case. I believe it's actually hurting her case. And when the witness is doing that, you have to control them. You have to corral them back by punishing them for not answering your question directly. And that's what Camille is attempting to do by making these statements that Amber then has to confront. If she just answered yes or no, it would, number one, it might not present the opportunity for the lawyer to ask the question. Number two, it can deflate the energy of the cross-examination.
Officer Tyler Haddon also testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21, 2016, and he also testified no injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that correct?
They both said that they did not consider me injured.
They did not see injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that what their testimony was?
What their testimony was is that they did not consider what my face looked like to be injury. They didn't consider what they walked on in the house damage, but it was.
You were sitting here when Officer William Gatlin testified by deposition about being called on May 21 to the Eastern Columbia building, and he also did not observe any injuries on you, did he? And that's what he testified to.
He didn't even know which one I was.
No, I think we all saw on video camera you identify yourself. Isn't that correct?
I had to because of how far away he was. He didn't even know who he was.
But after you identified yourself, he looked at you. Isn't that correct?
From a distance, yes.
And he didn't see any visible injuries either, did he?
I don't know what he saw.
He testified that he didn't see any visible injuries, did he?
I would believe that he didn't, yes.
Couple things to break down there. Again, you can see she will not directly answer a single question. Now, Camille makes a few mistakes here. She interrupts Amber Heard. Now, throughout this, you will see Camille interrupt. You also see Amber interrupt. My opinion, my school of thought, my theory is the interrupting party is always losing. Because if you're interrupting the other side, it means you're trying to prevent them from saying something. And the way that's viewed by the jury is you're trying to hide information. So when Camille interrupts Amber, really what she's doing is she's trying to get Amber to just answer the question directly, but it's going to come off as though she is trying to hide something. Actually, there are a few occasions throughout, we're not going to watch the whole cross-examination, where Camille does interrupt because she doesn't like the actual answer. And that, in my opinion, is not good cross-examination. There are other ways to get the person to answer directly, and that is you can repeat the question. What I do, and I read this in a book somewhere, as I will say to the person, I'll say, listen, maybe you didn't hear me. Maybe you didn't understand the question. It was, a yes or no question. And then I repeat the question until they answer yes or no. And what you're doing there is you're punishing them for not answering. You're making them look silly and you're pulling them in line. And if you do that a couple of times, the witness will start answering the way that you want them to. And that's one thing that Camille doesn't do here.
You were also in this courtroom when Alejandro Romero, who worked at the front desk at the Eastern Columbia building, testified about seeing you on May 25th, 2016. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. I think he said the 25th.
Yeah, and Mr. Romero testified that he didn't see any swelling or bruises on your face when you were talking to him at the front desk.
He wouldn't have.
No, he wouldn't have, even though he had a habit, because his parents taught him correctly, to look into someone's eyes when speaking to them. Isn't that correct?
I know that's what he testified to, yes.
You testified yesterday that you sought a temporary restraining order on May 27th, 2016 because you wanted to change your locks. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Those locks were to the penthouses at the Eastern Columbia building. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
You changed the locks to the penthouses on May 22nd, 2016.
I attempted to.
That's why you felt comfortable having James Franco over the evening of May 22nd, 2016, Ms. Heard?
I do not know when James came over.
Okay, let's remind you. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 304, which is already in evidence, and play from 254 through 439?
All right, so we're about to watch that video. Camille did a really great transition here. This is sort of a two-parter that she set up where she asked Amber about the date when she changed the locks, and then she jumped right into her questioning about James Franco in order to link the two, right? Well, you changed the locks so that you could have this other guy come over. And Amber here plays dumb. The thing is, she's answering everything as an I don't know answer, okay? And the problem, that is an answer that can be tough for an attorney to deal with, but that's going to damage the witness's credibility if they're saying it over and over and over again, and can then make it look like they're being untruthful or they're hiding something. Now let's see how Camille handles this video. There they are. And they look pretty snugly. That's not going to help Amber's case.
That's you and Mr. Franco on May 22nd, 2016, right, Ms. Heard?
Now, I'm going to stop right there because I want to point out what Camille did there. This is very lawyer and nerdy, but she handled the silence of the video very well, and then she dove right into a questioning. She didn't try to set it up or say, oh, we just watched this video, now I'm going to ask you some questions about it. That's one thing that Camille does really great is she cuts out the small talk. There shouldn't be any small talk in cross-examination. The only things that should be said are the peppering the witness with questions or your statements, not this little commentary of, oh, this, oh, that, or we just watched this or that, or I'm going to show you this. Camille just went in, showed the video, and then started asking her questions, and that actually increases the impact and the dramatic impact it would have on the jury. I'll tell you one thing I do that I would not do here that she's doing is I do not, this may sound ridiculous, but the title sir, ma'am, Mrs., Mr., when you're dealing with police officers, officer, sergeant, these are what we call honorifics, right? These are titles that we put before a person's name. And generally what these honorifics do is they raise the status of the individual. When you're on cross-examination, when I'm on cross-examination and I've cross-examined world-famous doctors, detectives, police officers, people of all walks of life. And when I'm doing that, I do not, even a doctor, I don't call him by his honorific, because what I'm doing there is I'm establishing my control in the courtroom. I don't want the jury to think about that witness is higher than me. Okay, I want them to look to me as the authority during the cross-examination. Really, you want to establish that throughout the entire trial, and that's a different topic, but certainly during the cross. Now, people may say, oh, it's respectful, this and that, but I can tell you, if the lawyer cuts it out, you probably wouldn't even notice. You wouldn't even notice. All right, let's get back.
That's correct.
And you're taking him up to the penthouses, aren't you?
That's where I lived, yes.
And it's past 11 p.m. at night, isn't that right?
I'm not quite sure of the time it looked like that.
Why don't we pull that video back up? $22:51. Almost midnight, right?
That's
Excuse me, almost 11 o'clock at night.
exactly.
You knew Mr. Depp was out of town the week of May 21, 2016, didn't you?
I don't know what I knew of his schedule at the time.
You knew Mr. Depp was out of town on May 27th when you went to get the domestic violence restraining order, isn't that right?
I don't know if I knew that at the time.
You knew Mr. Depp was heading out on a European tour that week, isn't that right?
I'm not quite sure what I understood of his schedule at that time.
You knew he wouldn't be back for weeks, right?
No, that's incorrect.
Let's go back to that recording.
Okay, and what she did right there is, or I'm sorry, let's actually, well, I'm sorry. What she did right there, she made Amber pay, and I talked about this before, for her I don't know answer. So she said, I don't know the time, I don't recall the time. And what the person's doing there is stalling, throwing up roadblocks, trying to make the questioner look ridiculous, right? And it does take up more time, but it's very important that Camille do what she does, is she presents the witness with evidence that shows, that makes her, forces her to admit to the fact that Camille is trying to get out. And what she's trying to do is get Amber to admit that it was 12 o'clock at night and that it was late when she was having James Franco over. And then that includes all sorts of insinuations and implied facts about what they did when they got in there that Camille doesn't even have to go into. But it was important that she nail Amber down, because it makes Amber look ridiculous. She's answering, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't remember when James, come on. She doesn't remember when she met him. She just watched the video if it was late at night or what time it was. So what she did was make Amber look ridiculous there, and it casts doubt on all of Amber's I don't know answers.
It's Defendant's Exhibit 598. You testified that you and Mr. Depp were in the car outside of his studio. Is that right?
Yes.
You were trying to prevent him from going into his studio to do drugs, right?
Yeah, to effectively start another cycle.
Right. Not that Mr. Depp was just trying to go into his house to see his daughter, right?
His daughter might be one of the people that was in the house at that time, but that's neither here nor there. That would
testimony is now
prevent him from entering a cycle.
Your testimony is now that Mr. Depp does drugs in front of his children?
Well, first of all, I know he does. Second of all, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have stopped him from using with his friends, which is the problem, not whether or not his daughter was there.
Okay. Let's play, please, Defendants 598, 4948 through 5035.
All right, the next video doesn't really have anything to do with the prior testimony. I thought Camille made a mistake there when she asked the question is, oh, you're now saying that Mr. Depp does drugs in front of his children. I think she should have known that Amber Heard was going to say yes to that. So that sort of makes her client look bad. Look, there's going to be some collateral damage in cross-examination. You're right? You're on attack. You're on attack, and you're not going to hit every question right on. So I think she should have withdrew that. It doesn't take away very much from the cross-examination as a whole, but it wasn't too great. And also, maybe it's implausible, especially if Depp can get back up there. They can say, look, you know, he never did drugs in front of his kids. Maybe he was on drugs around his kids, but he never did them in front. I don't know. That might be something that I would come up with. But anyway... and she also, a couple parts there, because she didn't like what was coming out of Amber's mouth. It was, she was interrupting Amber again and hiding testimony. It looks like you're hiding testimony from the jury. So a couple things about Camille that I didn't state is she her voice is very good, and it matters here that she's a female. And the general consensus among attorneys is that when you have a male cross-examining a woman, sometimes it can appear to be far too aggressive. But when you have a woman cross-examining a woman, that woman can be extremely aggressive without that visual of impropriety that the jury may perceive from a man aggressively going after a woman. So women in a lot of ways can actually do things that men can't during cross-examination, or maybe in ways or that they can't. So Camille, she has this appearance of a fairly good-looking woman. She's not a real big woman. I would call her, maybe petite or whatnot. And she has sort of a feminine voice as well, but she delivers it like a pit bull. And the femininity and the pit bull voice and the aggressive questioning, the play there, the interaction there between those two makes her a very powerful cross-examiner when she's going after a woman who is perceived as a victim, or is trying to be perceived as a victim of domestic abuse. So Camille was a great choice. She delivers her questions great. She delivers her questions confidently. She planned this cross-examination. She moved through certain factual transitions in which she set Amber up in order to hit her with some facts, and she locked her into some certain facts. And overall, she's done a tremendous job. The one thing she could do better is controlling Amber so that she gives yes or no questions and not interrupting her. Because the other thing you can do is when they interrupt you, you can turn yourself into the victim. You can say, please allow me to finish my question, right? Or like the witness is good, please allow me to finish my answer. And the attorneys could also get involved. So if a cross-examiner was continuously interrupting my client, it's possible that I could get involved or bring the judge in to say, hey, Your Honor, please tell the lawyer to allow my witness to finish their answer. However, generally, the interruptions are seen as negative on the lawyer, so that may be why Amber's counsel is not stepping in. So overall, I'm going to give her an A. Again, well-planned, well interplay there as far as who the cross-examiner is, a woman versus a woman. Her delivery is great. Couple of mistakes, couple of things that I would do a little differently. Again, it can be a matter of choice or a matter of style, but overall, very good cross-examination. It's been effective the whole time. I don't know if it'll be enough to win the case, but I would say this cross-examination of Heard has been much better than the cross-examination of Johnny Depp. All right, thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm Joe Pometto, Joe the Lawyer. I hope you like my content. Some of it is for the general audience and some of it is for attorneys. You can get into the minds of how lawyers think. That's part of what I want to do here on this channel. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and give a shout out to my future ex-wife, Camille Vasquez. I think she's tremendous. All right, thank you everybody.